Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel once again. I'm Tony and today we're gonna do the real review of Paco Rabanne's 1 million Elixir. Now, when I say real review, it doesn't mean that anybody else's review is fake. No, what I mean by that is that I purchased this fragrance myself with my own money, so I'm not gonna pledge no allegiance to nobody. There is no brand loyalty. I'm a real consumer just like you. There is no affiliate link so you can click, buy something and I get some commission. None of that. And most importantly, I am not trying to sell you anything. If I tell you that I like something, that means that I really like it. And if I tell you that I don't like something, that means I really don't like it. And yes, this intro is a complete Flossy Carter ripoff. I am in no way, and I repeat, I am in no way, shape or form claiming that I am an expert or that I know more than anyone else in the fragrance community. I'm just gonna share my thoughts and experiences with you so you can decide if you drop your hard-earned money in a bottle of perfume or not. Take my review and really anyone's review with a grain of salt. We'll have different perceptions, different skin chemistry, and of course, different taste. So let's get busy. I'm gonna do a quick parenthesis here for all the beautiful people that asked me if I'm gonna do the real review of the new Bleu de Chanel exclusive. It's coming. Still have to do more testing, but it's coming. Just be patient. So let's start off with one of the most important aspects when it comes to purchasing a new fragrance. The price. Now, there's really no point of telling you how much this fragrance costs right now because if you're watching this video 2, 3, 5 years from now, chances are the price is going to be a little or a lot higher due to inflation. But today, you can get this fragrance, the 100 milliliter bottle, for $160 US. This is the 200 milliliter bottle, but you get the point. Now, price is always going to be subjective. There may be some people who need to save up for months just to get this fragrance, and there are some other people who can afford to buy 2, 3, 5, $300 or $500 fragrances in a single purchase on a regular basis. So it depends on each people's economy, of course. But for me, the price is TGH. Now, why am I saying that? I'll explain to you throughout the whole video. Is it worth the price? Let's find out. Now let's continue with the notes. According to Paco Rabanne's official website, it only mentions Rose from Damaso, Vanilla Absolute, and Cedar Wood, which follows this trend of just giving us, the consumers, 2 or 3 notes per release. But according to Fragrantica, beware, Fragrantica, on the top notes we've got Apple and Davana. On the middle notes we have, indeed, Damask Rose, Cedar, and Osmanthus. And as base notes we have Vanilla, Tonka Bean, and patchouli. We have okay quality notes in here. Some of them might be natural, some of them might be synthetic, but as I always say, that's irrelevant. By the way, this is a parfum intense concentration. Whatever the hell that means. Now, what do I smell in here? Remember, this is the part of the video that is kind of subjective because what I'm about to tell you is just my perception. And of course, it may vary from your perception. So what I'm smelling here is yet another take on a party fragrance. When you first spray this, everything will come right at your nose at once. Your nose will be hit with a note of green apple, and of course it will give the fragrance this fruity/sweet property. But then the main notes will come in play because it's not gonna be too long before you can smell the vanilla paired with the tonka bean in full power. Of course, the vanilla and tonka bean combo smells very, very sweet. They didn't tame the sweetness this time because that vanilla sweetness is what gives this fragrance the whole personality. And in this occasion, I'm talking about a very, very average smelling vanilla sweetness. Nothing special this time. Then a couple of minutes later, the vanilla will calm down, but just a tad. Then you will notice the floral facet of this fragrance. And of course, this is courtesy of the rose and also the osmanthus. Let me clarify, the rose will not smell like the ones used in classic perfumery. You know, the type of rose that could remind you to a grandma perfume? No, not at all. This one smells modern, juicy and sweet at the same time. And the osmanthus will complement the rose with that soft/milky nuance that I personally love. Now, the end result of this smell, it's like a vanilla and rose caramel. Sounds weird, I know, because this doesn't mention caramel, but that's the feeling that I'm getting from this fragrance overall. This is a pretty linear fragrance. It doesn't really change too much other than the apple disappearing after 10 minutes, but how you smell this fragrance after, let's say, 20 minutes you applied it, that's pretty much exactly how the fragrance is gonna smell until it's gone. Now, I just mentioned some of the notes to highlight some aspects of it. Not all the notes, of course. But again, that's so important because that's just my perception. Of course, you can smell different things, different facets when you get your nose on this. Because remember, each nose is a totally different world. Now, let's talk about a very important topic for a lot of people. the compliments. If you have seen any of my previous fragrance real review videos, at this point, you already know I couldn't care less about the compliments. And it's kind of crazy because a lot of people buy fragrances with the sole purpose of hopefully feeling validated throughout other people's opinion. That's not my case. I'm one of those weird people that buy fragrances just to please myself, and that's it. If some other people like it and it's kind enough to give me a compliment, thank you so very much, but that's not something I'm after. Now, with that being said, I have received a very decent amount of compliments wearing this thing, mainly from ladies. Now, performance. Let's talk about performance. But first, let me remind you something. Not all atomizers were created equal. Some of them are average, just getting the job done. You also got those crappy ones that a bottle of perfume basically just spits when you're applying it on your skin and clothing without the consistent burst of perfume. You got the famous mist atomizer, but you gotta play with them. Each kind of atomizer is not gonna eject the same amount of perfume. But this one is decent. By the way, in the back of the box of this fragrance, it says very long lasting. I've never seen that in any other fragrance box. Now, the performance on this is good. Not mind-blowing, but it's good. I'm getting an average of 6 hours spraying this in both my skin and clothing. And I'm talking about 6 to 9 sprays in total. Not projection. Using that amount of sprays, the initial blast is huge. You'll be projecting 2 meters from you for 10 minutes. Then, this one acts like an aura around you. A medium to short, but very strong aura. So it doesn't project too far from you, but within that range is very, very strong. Now, that aura will dissipate within 5 hours and then becomes a skin scent. And even starting the 6th hour, when this is already a skin scent, when you are with your significant other, for instance, or if you hug someone, they will definitely notice that you're wearing perfume. If you have good skin chemistry, you can probably stretch this to 7 or even 8 hours. And remember, not all fragrances were created with the purpose of being projecting like crazy with a longevity of 12 plus hours. There are more subtle scents that were created precisely with the purpose of being more intimate. But this one will not disappoint in the performance category. Now, occasions. This right here is another party fragrance, and due to the sweetness without any hint of freshness, this one is only for the fall and winter. Nighttime. Why? Personally, even if it's freezing cold outside, this type of scent is something that I wouldn't like to smell first thing in the morning when I just woke up before going to work. Now, considering what I just said about the performance, you can easily assume that this is the fragrance that you want to wear when you go out to the nightclub, where there's a lot of people smoking cigarettes and God knows what else, or somewhere in open spaces. This is something that I use only when I'm going out to a party, clubbing, as I just said, even though I don't do that, on a date, when you're gonna have close interaction with your significant other, when you go to the movie theater, when you're going to a barbecue, to a bar. You know, the list goes on. Not formal events though. Gender, let's go with gender. This is marketed as a masculine fragrance, but I don't see any reason why a woman cannot use this. This is a sweet vanilla-based fragrance after all. So I would say this is unisex. Slightly towards the masculine spectrum, but still unisex. And finally, age. This one being a playful party fragrance, in my opinion, the target group of this fragrance is younger people. So I would say you're good using this if you're 17 all the way to 35 years old. So quality, good. Versatility, 5 out of 10. This is for cold weather only. Performance, good. Compliments, yes. Now, personally speaking, I do have a love-hate relationship with the 1 million line. I love the original 1 million. It was groundbreaking back in the day. The only one that I didn't have the chance to smell, it's the absolutely gold flanker. But aside from that one, my favorite flanker regarding the original DNA is this one. The 1 million Intense. As I said, regarding the original 1 million DNA. Aside from those three, the original one, the absolutely gold, and the intense. After that, every flanker, smell-wise, have nothing to do with the original 1 million. Now, is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. Because on one hand, Paco Rabanne has completely bastardized the 1 million line, releasing flankers that have nothing to do with the original scent DNA. They easily could have launched another line. It's like if Bleu de Chanel released the original Eau de Toilette, then an intense version, which is also very good, then the smell of this is a flanker, then the smell of this is another flanker, then the smell of this is another flanker. every smell under the name of Bleu de Chanel, when the smell of those other flankers have absolutely nothing to do with the original scent DNA, the eau de toilette. That is so messed up in my opinion, especially when the original one was very groundbreaking. But on the other hand, Paco Rabanne released this, which is my second favorite flanker, the 1 million Privé. So I have mixed feelings. Now, is Paco Rabanne the only one that has done that? No, absolutely not. But since I love the OG 1 million, of course I needed to say this. Now, coming back to the Elixir, I have to admit that this modern and sweet scent DNA is not my cup of tea. I cannot say I love this fragrance, because I don't. Now, does it mean this is a bad fragrance? Absolutely not. It just doesn't blow me away. But whenever I decide to use this, I truly enjoy it. But $160 for something that resembles to the vast majority of modern sweet fragrances on the market? It's a great smell for a sweet perfume, but no, too much for what it offers. Now, at the time that I'm uploading this video, the fall season just started, so if you live in a place where it gets chilly, you might want to try this at your local department store. And remember, at the end of the day, do whatever you want with your fragrances. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, is entitled to tell you what to do. This is just my opinion, as I stated in the very beginning of the video. Now, if this review was useful to you, I would feel very glad, I would feel very honored. But at the end of the day, do as you please. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, I really hope you found this video useful. So, thank you so much. Tack så mycket. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Dankeschön. Muchas gracias. Spasiba. Keitos. Grazie mille. Arigatou gozaimasu. See you in the next video.